more.
Now at 10, an event in Carthage welcomes foster and adoptee families for the holiday season. Plus, a new year brings new leadership to the Joplin Police Department. And a bookstore in Pittsburgh invites patrons to relax with yoga and cats.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Precious Moments tonight help some kids enjoy some precious moments. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. What better way to embody the spirit of the holidays than by showing young ones the significance of family and generosity? Well, tonight, Foster, Adopt, Connect, Joplin, and Precious Moments Chapel partnered to do just that. KOAM's Elise Noe has more.
During the holiday season, cookies, twinkling lights, Santa Claus, and of course presents take center stage in children's minds. Foster, Adopt, Connect, Joplin is blending these festive elements with the spirit of generosity, inviting foster families and communities to shop for their loved ones, and a special holiday pop-up hosted by Precious Moments Chapel in Carthage.
So this holiday pop-up is really designed as a place where kids and families can come, experience a little bit of holiday joy, and get to shop. And so they get to shop for gifts for loved one and themselves.
With 2 years in the 4-state area, Foster Adopt recognizes the importance of ensuring every child has a gift for someone in their family.
Getting to share at the holiday, like that's what it's all about, right? It's that giving joy. And so being able to equip kids to show up with gifts and be prideful in that giving, and when they receive, it feels like a reciprocal exchange rather than maybe taking charity.
Kids got to choose 6 items from the Precious Moments gift shop while enjoying holiday crafts, hot cocoa, popcorn, and a visit from Santa.
Oh, the popcorn was a 10 out of 10. I shopped for my grandpa. He lives all the way in Galena, Kansas, and I also shopped for my Dodo. That's what we call her. She is not too far from here.
Families were also treated to a candlelight walk to the chapel, learning about its history. In Carthage, Missouri, Elise Noe, KOAM News.
This was Foster Adopt's second annual holiday pop-up event. The Better Business Bureau wants to warn families about holiday pet adoption scams. According to the BBB, 80% of sponsored pet advertisements might be fake. Experts say do your homework before you buy a new pet and buy only from a reputable source. Make sure you see the pet in person before you buy and avoid wiring money. Also, consider reaching out to an animal shelter to adopt or foster. We have a more extensive list of tips on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty for our first look at the weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a chilly one for us today. We could only get up to 43 degrees, started at 31. Average high is 47, so we are actually below normal, which we haven't seen much of so far in the month of December. We could also use some rain. We got a little bit over the weekend, about 0.2 of an inch, but we're still 14 inches behind for 2023, and we are going to get some rain, especially the second half of the week. Not tonight. Pretty much clear skies. Clouds will start to increase later on tonight as we get into this mess. That is the beginnings of our next storm system, which will start to affect us pretty much on Wednesday into Thursday. Tonight just cold, eventually down to about 24 degrees, back to 39 by 10 a.m. We do start to warm up a bit the next couple days. We'll look at that here in just a bit.
Catch you in a few. A new year means a big new change for the Joplin Police Department. Joplin city officials today swore in Richard Pearson as a new police chief. Pearson previously served as the captain of the Jefferson County Public School System Police Department in Louisville, Kentucky. He also has served 22 years with the Louisville Metro Police Department. The new chief says he's looking forward to meeting the community.
I'm all about communication. My wife calls me Chatty Cathy. She says I talk too much sometimes, but I'm all about meeting with people face to face, talking to them, because you can get a better feel. You have a more robust relationship with people if you meet them face to face, wherever that may be.
Chief Pearson also wants to work on the education of his officers and work with the school system to better the community. Christmas came early for some Carthage students in the form of books. Kindergarten students received a variety of titles, including the book Giraffes Can't Dance. It's all part of a donation from the Literacy Council Board. Officials say these books will go a long way to make sure every student is reading at least on level.
Probably pretty exciting right now at Christmas time. Receive a gift and be able to take it home. They are Christmas books as well, so it's part of the season that should encourage them to read to their family.
Officials handed out more than 900 books. Pittsburgh Yoga Studio is using some feline therapy to help its students relax. Eclectic Soul Studio teamed up with the Literary Cat Company for the event. Attendees were able to get an hour of easy yoga surrounded and loved on by cats. Organizers wanted to offer the community something a little different.
I wasn't really sure how the community was going to respond to it, because you just never know when you do something that's a little bit out of the box, and it's just been fabulous. I've just been blown away by all the support.
We like to support the animals in our community, and this is just such a great space, and we wanted to team up with Jennifer and just help draw attention to these felines and maybe help adopt some of them out.
Yoga mats were provided, mats and cats. A Christmas blow mold collector got the chance to spread his passion along with some Christmas cheer. Now, if you don't know exactly what that is, well, we'll tell you. It's a type of decoration. Since the age of 8, Dustin Molinaro has been collecting Christmas blow molds. It's a hobby he picked up from his grandparents. This holiday season, the Joplin History and Mineral Museum is showing off his collection, but only a third of it.
I still feel the same way like when I was 8 when I see Christmas displays set up. And even going back to, I think it was 2005, I won an award when I lived in Colorado still.
Molinaro's collection will be on display at the Joplin History and Mineral Museum until mid-January. Watered Gardens in Joplin today kicked off its annual Christmas market. Now, during the week leading up to Christmas, they offer toys, games, clothes, and stocking stuffers to families who otherwise struggle to afford them. The items are donated by the community, but instead of assigning a price, those items are given a time stamp, the amount of time for shoppers to work in Watered Gardens' Worth shop and earn the gifts they choose.
That parent has selected the gifts for their kids. It's not something where someone else just handed it to them. They get to have an investment in it, ownership of it. It affirms their dignity, and I think it makes Christmas great for those who might otherwise have really had nothing.
Gives people that are that are a little under, the people that are struggling, an opportunity to make themselves feel better by giving, which we don't normally get a chance to do that. So.
Watered Gardens Ministries also provides a gift wrapping area. The Christmas market happens every day this week through Friday except on Wednesday. It's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Shopping and working must be done on the same day. Later in sports, it's another big night for local basketball. John's going to have the highlights of tonight's cross-state battle between Webb City and Pittsburgh in just a few minutes. But first, despite the U.S. pledge for support for Israel, the Biden administration has called on that nation to do more to protect civilian lives.
This insurance today.
The head of the CIA flew to Europe for talks with Israeli and Qatari officials aimed at reaching a new ceasefire deal that could lead to the release of more hostages in Gaza. Meanwhile, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin traveled to Israel to discuss the future of the war with Hamas, now in its third month. Reporter Skylar Henry has the latest.
The bombardment of Gaza continued, while Hamas officials say the death toll has surpassed 19,000. In Tel Aviv, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and other top Israeli leaders.
This is Israel's operation. I'm not here to dictate timelines or terms.
It was Austin's second visit to the Jewish state since Hamas's terror attack on October 7th that killed about 1,200 people. While Austin reasserted Washington's support for the war, the U.S. is pressing Israel to work harder to prevent the deaths of Palestinian civilians.
We will also continue to urge the protection of civilians during conflict and to increase the flow of humanitarian aid into Gaza.
Hamas released a new video showing 3 elderly hostages it's holding. Hamas says it will not negotiate more hostages return until the fighting stops.
We must take a stand. The world is watching us now. This includes our enemies, Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran.
There are still crucial questions as to how Israel's military mistakenly shot and killed 3 hostages last week. The IDF released photos of SOS signs they made using leftover food. The military says the men, all in their 20s, were shirtless and carrying a makeshift white flag before they were killed. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Defense Secretary Austin also announced that the U.S. and other nations plan to create a new international coalition to protect ships traveling along the vital Red Sea trade route. Oil giant BP and other shipping companies say they're pausing all transit through the Red Sea after recent attacks on ships by Iranian-backed Houthi rebels. Actor Jonathan Majors has been found guilty of 2 of 4 charges in his domestic assault trial. Today, a New York jury convicted the 34-year-old of reckless assault in the 3rd degree and harassment in the 2nd degree, but acquitted him on 2 other counts. The case stems from the March confrontation Majors had with his then-girlfriend Grace Jabari in a car in Manhattan. She alleged that he hit her in the back of the head and fractured her finger. Majors' defense team argued his ex-girlfriend was actually the aggressor.
It's really split between the jury saying we don't see intentional assault, we don't see aggravated harassment, but we do see those lesser charges here. We think that he did something criminal that he shouldn't have done.
Majors is set to be sentenced in early February and faces up to a year in prison. After the verdict, Marvel Studios said they would not be moving forward with the actor. The federal government is trying to make it harder for officers found guilty of misconduct to get hired at other departments. The Justice Department launched a new national database to centralize information on the misconduct of federal officers. It'll flag them during the hiring process for law enforcement positions. Right now, the database applies only to federal officers, but officials are working to allow state, local, and tribal agencies to also participate. Few opioid overdose patients are receiving a treatment that could be beneficial. A study in the Canadian Medical Association Journal found after being treated for an overdose, only 4% of patients were given opioid agonist therapy. That medication-based treatment has shown to be effective in reducing both deaths and illnesses. And an experimental drug is showing progress in treating chronic kidney disease. Findings published in The Lancet showed the drug significantly reduced albuminuria, a sign of kidney damage, in half of patients. It was even more effective when paired with other medications. The medication still needs additional trials before the findings can be confirmed. Doug's forecast is next, and a little bit later, Girard takes to the hardwood against Baxter Springs for some Monday night basketball. John's going to have more for us coming up in sports.
Come see off only at Casey's.
Well, of course, a chilly day for us today, but we did get quite a bit of sunshine, which was nice. And still, we have the clear skies out there right now. Nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, one of our newer tower cams. We are looking northeast at downtown Joplin. All right, the winds breezy for us today. They are starting to calm down a little bit, so at least it's not going to make it feel colder than what it actually is as we go through the overnight hours tonight. But these winds are going to whip around out of the south by tomorrow and really start to pick up. Look at this. We'll have gusts at times near 30, maybe 35 to 40 once you get into our western counties, and it stays windy again as we go into Wednesday afternoon as well. Winds are going to be gusting right around 30 miles per hour. So it's not like a trash can gone situation, but definitely knocked over. So if it's outside, if it's trash day tomorrow or Wednesday, you may want to secure it down or bring it in. All right, clear skies for now, but clouds starting to increase central and western Kansas. This is the beginnings of our next storm system. Now you can see this ridge, this bump, ridge just to our west. This is going to roll in over the next few days. That's going to warm our temperatures up, and then we're going to have these storm systems start to affect us, especially as we head toward the holiday weekend. Now tonight's going to be okay. It's just going to be cold. Low to mid 20s by morning. You can see the clouds start to thicken up. As we continue through the morning hours, mostly cloudy skies, upper 40s by about the noon hour. Once we get into the afternoon, about 52 in Fort Scott. Veneta 53, Anderson up to about 52 degrees. Clouds continue to thicken tomorrow night. Not as cold. We drop back right around 40. And then on Wednesday, just cloudy skies. Temperature's nice, upper 50s. We may get a sprinkle or two in here by the time we get into Wednesday afternoon. Now Wednesday night, showers will start to develop, especially after midnight. Here's 3 a.m., scattered showers, and then showers increase as we go through the daytime hours on Thursday. All right, your day planner for your Tuesday, 34 at 9, 49 by 1, 52 by 3 p.m. Let's go down the road toward the holiday weekend. All right, so we get rain in here Thursday, rain Thursday night into Friday, mainly the first half of the day on Friday. Here comes another wave. So now we're looking at Saturday afternoon, rain again. A lot of people traveling on Saturday. On Christmas Eve, showers, maybe some thunderstorms. And then let's stop. Christmas morning, not snowing, but definitely a wet Christmas for us this year. If you remember, we had a white Christmas last year. All right, 51 tomorrow, 58 on Wednesday, 58 Thursday. Those rain chances increasing, temperatures increasing, 60 over the weekend, and a high temp of 62 on Monday.
Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, Pitt State women's basketball tries to get its 10th win of the season. Plus, Girard and Baxter Springs meet on the basketball court. John Dales has those stories and more coming up next.
Deck the halls with great go places.
Pitt State men's basketball got off to a slow start to its 2023-24 season. The Gorillas lost 4 of their first 6 games, but didn't hang their heads. They won the next 2, including an upset of third-ranked Central Oklahoma before playing in Vegas. That's where Jeff Bosche's team is right now, competing in the High Desert Classic, and they just won their first game of the tournament 94-88 over Truman State this evening. Jeremy Shaw, who's making his season debut in this one, well, he leads all scorers with 29 points. 17 of those came in the first half. PSU ends its brief stint in Sin City tomorrow. It faces Henderson State at 4 p.m. Just as good of news for the PSU women's basketball team this evening. The Gorillas have no problem with Lincoln. They win on the road 73-57. Corinna Gerber leads the way with 23 points, 15 of which came in the first half. Harper Schreiner gets a double-double with assists and points, and Amanda David's team already has 10 wins in its first 11 games. They have a week and a half off before playing their next game against Tabor College on December 30th. Girard boys and girls basketball each at home this evening with a CNC matchup. Baxter Springs coming to town. The girls' game was all Trojans. Girard led 27-13 at halftime. Then the Trojans blanked the Lady Lions in the second half, winning by final score of 56-13. How about that defense? The Trojans are 2-0 in conference play with a win against Galena as well. Their 2 losses on the season came to Parsons to open the year and Nevada this past Friday. Baxter Springs boys basketball on the road in the CNC tonight, taking on Girard on its home floor. Early in the first quarter of this one, Lions down a handful. Jacob Grant gets the pass in the low post. 6'5 junior, pump fakes and scores. Still in the first quarter, Peyton Gaines fades away and hits the jumper in the high post. That makes it 10-6. Girard still in front. Trojans started to heat up after that though. Ranson Bourne glides to the hoop, hits the layup with just seconds left in the first. That puts Girard back up by 6. Then Bourne passes out to Levi Blair. He attacks the basket and the lefty floater off the glass and in. It's 16-8 Trojans when Aiden Troike nails this three-pointer. That stretches the lead to double digits. A few seconds later, Lions turn it over. Troike knows exactly what to do with it. He gets up for the two-handed slam. Trojans run away with it. They win at home 59-47. And an interstate matchup tonight with Webb City girls basketball on the road against Pittsburgh. Purple Dragons without a win. First quarter, Webb looking to set the tone. Mallory Stanley knocks down the three. More on her in a bit. Cardinals leading 17-10, but Pitt clawing its way back in. Nice passing. And Ava Hurt makes the three. Give her one more as well as she got fouled. Purple Dragons lead 27-23 at half. Pitt on a roll. Alyssa Hotze gets it, drives in for the bucket and the foul. Big second half for her. She finishes with 14 points. Pitt up by 8. Mallory Stanley putting on a show though. 4 3-pointers in the fourth. She finishes with 16. Cardinals within 1 point now. Jackie Hall has something to say about that though. She drives after a steal, goes into the bucket and scores. Purple Dragons win a nail-biter against Webb City to get their first win of the season, 53-49. Impressive for them. They, lost a bunch of close ones, a bunch of tough ones early in the season, but a big win tonight at home.
Yeah, good game between Purple Dragons and the Cardinals. We'll be right back.
Jim Lawyer, a 4-state hero.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a chilly night for us tonight, or a cold night. We'll drop back to about 23 or 24 degrees. Warmer tomorrow, clouds increasing, high 51, 58 on Wednesday, but also notice showers increasing, especially Thursday night into Friday, and near 60 by the time we head into the holiday weekend.
Doug's, thanks. Final sports note.
Pitt State men's basketball finishes up its trip to Vegas tomorrow at 4.
Very good. We're going to leave you with video from the Rush Lights display in Commerce, Oklahoma. This on South Elm Street. Thanks for joining us. Let's make it a great tomorrow.
On KOAM News is sponsored